Hi, I'm Justin.
Also, I hate the way my voice sounds, so if you can, do whatever Photoshop does to voices, make me sound awesome.
And this is my lovely friend,
The beauty in the eyes of the beholder, and it's just about getting into the seat of being the beholder.
Hayley.
I don't think you have to be particularly perceptive. I just think you have to look up.
This podcast is mostly just her telling me stories.
If you expose yourself to the possibility that this might be really awkward, there can be something just really cool on the other side of it.
She thinks that her life and way of looking at things are
Oh, I was kind of waiting on you. I thought you were getting your stuff ready. You're waiting on me?
pretty normal.
You got to edit out all the misinformation about the Amish.
Maybe you can relate.
I would like a chance to re-sing the Amish Paradise.
If you want lighthearted stories
All right, you want to talk about goats?
and stream of consciousness,
I just woke up and needed some friends, and so I bought them.
then you're gonna like the Sunny Side Up podcast.
Sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up.
So, if you're at all like me, you may feel that you're living in a world that can be a bit overwhelming and confusing at times. I'm also a huge fan of podcasts, documentaries, docudramas, stories, and of just information in general. Between all of that and the social media and news, sometimes our brains can feel like they're on overload. Hayley and I hope that this podcast can be something of an antidote to all of that. Like little jello shots of joy and distraction. None of it is too serious or really too informative. Mostly it's just two friends who have conversational chemistry talking about whatever enters the minds of relatively ADHD people. We hope you enjoy.
You know about the time my chickens got massacred at Halloween, right?
No.
That was a story that I actually made, but Muffin survived it.
And Muffin's a chicken? Mm-hmm. Okay.
She survived it for a little while.
How did Muffin get the name Muffin, if I may ask?
Katie just named her Muffin.
Okay.
She had sweet sideburns. Do you want to see her?
Well, the audience can't see her, so it won't be super helpful.
But we're not recording yet, are we?
Yeah, we're recording.
I'm sorry. I could actually just... Oh, there's two good stories with the word muffin.
Thank
that
you.
Search function is amazing.
Right.
Okay? You want me to read you a story?
Read me a story. This is... But for the listener, is this like bedtime story?
This
or,
is...
Like what genre of
Oh
story
my
is this?
gosh, if it's a bedtime story, it's a little bit scary.
Okay, so this is not
Yes.
bedtime story.
No, it is definitely a bedtime story.
Ooh.
Pull those covers up to your chin, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen. Make sure your ankles are covered.
I like it. Okay.
So this is...
Did you say make sure your ankles are covered?
Yeah.
What happens to your ankles in a scary story?
Why, I couldn't tell you because I always make sure my ankles are
Okay.
covered. Whatever
to
that
the
is
Amish.
under the bed is going to reach out and grab you. And
Your
it is...
ankle. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I think Amish folks, ladies, keep their ankles covered.
I think Muslims do too, right?
Yes.
Like when you go into the...
It's a lot with, yeah. And I think in the old times, you were allowed to maybe just show your ankles. Unclear. I remember it was a big deal. Above ankles was very flirtatious and salacious.
Well, longer than that's going to drag the ground and get muddy.
I mean,
I
the
don't know how
price
to
you
make it
pay
happen.
not to upset us male brethren.
Which even now, Pentecostals are so conservative with their dress, they still have to cover their elbows.
Yes. I mean, well, if you look at someone's weenus... Okay, don't laugh. That's the name of that little piece of skin by your elbow is weenus. Yes,
No,
it is.
it's
I promise. I promise. You think I'm lying to you. It is.
Who taught you this?
No, Google. Yeah, that's your weenus. And when a girl shows
I'm
her
not sure that I
weenus,
have a
I'm
weenus.
immediately... You do. And you immediately... That's another big temptation. So I always...
Certainly. I know that that's the thing that I tend to scope whenever I'm in bars is
Yeah, who's got the...
what kind of elbows
what
do we
kind of
have
elbows
floating
do we
around
have?
in this joint?
Yeah, okay. So back to Muffin.
Yeah, so the bedtime, this is the bedtime story
Yeah.
of Muffin.
Okay.
It all started on Halloween. Told you.
Yeah, this is already scary.
Of course it did. There's not going to be a festive day of pleasantries without a grueling incident of horror for this household, not this year at least. What happened was a small-scale disaster, a tragedy. It was an All Hallows Eve barnyard massacre. We don't know exactly what happened, but what we do know is that at the end of the night, nothing outside the chicken coop remained except 5 piles of feathers and 2 grinning dogs. Tim called me as I was heading home from what had otherwise been a successful evening of trick-or-treating to warn me that all of the chickens that had been free-ranging without incident for months had fallen prey to one of the dogs. He didn't know which one. Foxy.
Gosh, Foxy.
But every last one was dead, and Katie needed to be warned before she got home and ran to check for the eggs. She's about 5th grade at this point.
Yeah.
We should have put a trigger warning at the beginning of this, by the way. The young ears.
Okay.
For violence.
Yes.
Tears, y'all. Real tears from her and tears on the inside for me because I was pretty fond of them too. Gut-wrenching stuff, especially when I offered to get her a new hen to keep in the coop and Katie could barely manage to whisper, "Please don't think I'm being rude, but I just really can't talk about it right now."
Oh,
mercy me, y'all.
Katie.
Parenting ain't for the faint of heart. We moped for days, wallowing in sadness all week over the absence of our little feathered friends, giving the dogs the appropriate cold shoulder, and lavishing affection on the 2 surviving hens who'd escaped the brutality solely by virtue of being confined in the coop at the time of the incident. All week we grieved, and just as we were finally beginning to acclimate to living with the pain, here she came. A zombie chicken.
Uh-oh.
One of the hens, who had been reduced to an enormous spread of fluffy gray feathers 5 whole days before, just suddenly appeared right there in the flower bed.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. We were watching the ball game on the porch. The Gamecocks, I kid you not. We had a friend playing for South Carolina.
Of course. Yeah.
And I heard a little scurry in the bushes and bent down to take a look, and lo and behold, there was Muffin, back among the living.
Sweet Muffin.
She had little bits of flesh dangling from the parts of her that were no longer covered in feathers, and she wore a dazed expression that clearly said, "I have seen some things." But there she stood, a little poultry miracle. It's hard to fully express the emotions I felt at that moment without punctuating the story with 4-letter words. But suffice it to say, we were equal parts amazed and relieved, but also unsettled. "Oh my goodness, Muffin, we're so happy to see you. Katie, climb down there and get her." "Yay, Muffin, good for you. Mom, you're closer." "Tim, she's back from the dead, Hayley. The least you can do is pick her up and carry her to the coop." Prior to this moment, I haven't ever given much consideration to how the witnesses to Lazarus's miracle must have felt, but I sincerely hope they had a better face when feeling squeamish than I do. So Muffin's back in the coop now and still alive, though not too spry at the moment. I suspect after this long she may be in the clear. I also relocated the game watching indoors because as happy as I was to see the old gal, I am uncomfortable about the possibility of more zombie chickens sneaking up behind me while I'm outside. Y'all are welcome to come hang out with us anytime, by the way. Our casa is your casa.
Oh, man. Snap, 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 snap. That's a great one.
Oh, it's a true story. Look at her.
Gosh.
Does she not look
She looks, though, her eyes, I've never seen a chicken. Chickens normally just make me laugh, and you can kind of tell they're little literal bird brains. She looks so sad.
She's been through it.
Yeah.
She looked rough.
She looks rough. Wow.
She's a survivor. Keep on loving. That's the theme song for the closing out with Survivor there.
I will survive. No, that's a different song.
Yeah, but that works. First I was afraid, I was petrified.
Yeah.
Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong.
And I feathers.
Grew strong. And I learned how to get along. And now you're back. From outer space. You just walked in from... Something with that look upon your face. And then the energy takes over and I just stop singing and start dancing.
Yeah. By the way, when many, many moons ago, God, this was probably 20 years ago. I could be exaggerating that, maybe 15. It was kind of before Pixar exploded onto the scene. But the early creators of Pixar, if you go back and watch some of their shorts, they're delightful. And one of the best ones is a one-eyed alien, female one-eyed alien, and she is sassy and she's walking and she's singing the "I Will Survive," and it's amazing. And she's just clicking her little hands, and there's like a little the smiley face
Like have a nice day
the have
smiley
a nice
face?
day smiley. Okay, so she's wearing the pin of the have a nice day yellow smiley face with one eye because she's a one-eyed alien. Anyways, so she's singing this song about back from outer space and that look upon your face and I will survive, and then right as she says the last I will survive, a giant glittery
meteor?
No.
Asteroid?
No, what are those little balls
Glitter
that hang
bomb?
in glitter?
Disco ball.
Disco ball. A giant glittery disco ball falls down and crushes her. And that's how it ends.
But what a way to go.
What a way to go. Yeah. And Muffin, the most important thing about the story is not the one-eyed alien, but that Muffin somehow survived. I feel like that's the takeaway from this. If Muffin can survive a slaughter. I have a question.
Yep.
These two dogs of yours just like living side by side with the chicken showing no proclivity.
Okay, so what happened there?
What happened?
So, yeah. Would you like to know the background on the dogs? How we came to have these dogs?
Or does that need to be a separate podcast?
No, it's not that long.
Okay, yeah.
I bought a dog, like an English Shepherd, and I was working out of town, so I realized that my dog needed a dog.
Yes.
And my cousin had picked this one up in a Walmart parking lot, and I was like, perfect,
As you
because
do.
she no longer could keep the dog, and I was like, heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks just like a little fox. So Foxy Lady came to live with me, and that's Foxy, right? She's also a shepherd. In the meantime, another dog wandered up, and there is no better dog than the dog who's looking for a second chance, and this dog was it. The shepherd that I paid money for cashed in her chips like right away, as they do. If you pay money for a dog ever, you will never stop paying money for that dog. Right. So she died within 2 years from zero causes. We just found her beautiful purebred body one day, and it was hurtful. But Foxy, found in a Walmart parking lot, is, I don't know, 10 or 12 years old and thriving.
Yeah. Walmart parking lot dogs, if you've made it to that far in your evolution, there's not much that can kill you.
That's right. Like, she don't even have front teeth now. And
don't need front teeth.
Hadn't slowed her down.
No.
She's still getting it. She's due for a haircut this week, and I'm pretty excited about it. She looks like a lion when we cut everything but her head.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Foxy Lion.
And so she, and then the other dog was Yellow Ledbetter, nicknamed Buddy. And Buddy is really what he's known as. He's mostly lab. Or probably yellow cur, which is a really intelligent dog.
Oh, I thought cur was like a slur for like a dog that has like a mutt, basically, like a bunch of different breeds.
I'm not well versed on my slurs, but I'm pretty sure in dogs that's actual breed.
Okay, I'm in.
Where is our...
I know.
We need our third.
Yeah.
Where's our third person to Google these things for us? But yellow cur, they look like Old Yeller. This like a yellow lab-looking dog, but kind of a blackish nose. I got to Wikipedia this. Sorry.
It's going to be great.
Are you recording? Because the listening audience is just going to have to envision this. And they're all like, yes, that's what a yellow cur is. Hurry up with the story. Indeed, yeah.
Indeed, yeah. When you come around, it's a terrible sound. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's a beautiful, nice dog.
Yeah. Kind of like an Old Yeller. So these are the two dogs at this point. We have Foxy and Buddy out there. And they don't mess with the chickens. They mind their own business. But if the chickens get stirred up, it triggers something in a dog. The instinct is stronger than its training. Yes. And what we learned through the School of Hard Knocks is that if you have more than one rooster in a patch, the roosters will kind of tie up sometimes. Now, if your hen to rooster ratio is healthy enough, then you don't really have to worry about that with so much.
Okay. Oh, as long as each rooster gets a little bit of loving, they're okay.
And a lot of loving. Like, at least 4 or 5 hens to one rooster probably to keep them from overstepping. But we just bought ours at the feed store. We didn't know what we were getting. And out of the 6 chicks we took home, we ended up with 3 males, 3 females.
Oh, yeah, that's never going to work.
Not good numbers.
No. Mm-mm.
So when the roosters would see each other and kind of tie up, it triggered the dogs. And then the dogs just had to jump in. And I never saw the dogs eat anything, but they don't start nothing, there won't be nothing.
Yeah. I got you.
The dogs just jumped in. So we don't know what happened because, like I said, we were minding our own business trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
But something happened in that instance, and Foxy was the most likely culprit because She's very fox-like.
I got you. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. We're casting at her because of her appearance.
Oh, no. She was sly and stealthy and did end a peacock a few years before that. So we knew that it was in her.
There's a history of murder there. Yeah. But you let Foxy live with you and you still have chickens.
So yeah, no, she hasn't touched a single chicken this year or last year, but I also have a very healthy rooster to hen ratio.
Hello, lovely friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And it would mean the world if you would tell other people about this podcast and maybe even spam your social media accounts with just how much you're enjoying it. If you are, of course. Also, commenting and rating us on whatever platform you're downloading or streaming from is incredibly helpful to a little startup podcast like this one. On the other hand, if you are dissatisfied with your listening experience, please leave all of that hate on someone else's podcast. Just maybe to confuse them a little bit, right? But most of all, we hope you keep looking up and looking for the sunny side of life.